Hello and good evening to you all, the ladies and gentlemen of Troy, Philippines. My name is Keziah Hidalgo, and I come before you today to run as your prospective programming director for the 2017-2018 school year. Out of all the other communities and organizations that I've been a part of during my time here at USC, no other club has resonated and felt more like home to me than Troy, Philippines. Growing up, I was very in touch with my Filipino community in Stockton, California, where I volunteered at the Little Manila Foundation and served as the vice president of my high school's Filipino club. I knew I wanted to become part of a community similar to that in my college career, and thankfully for me, I was able to find Troy Phi. This is now my 5th semester with Troy Phi, and it's been quite the journey as I went from being a general member to a public relations intern to your current fundraising director throughout this span of time. The passion and love in this community is what always keeps me coming back and motivates me to serve. I want to give back to others what Troy Phi has given me, and that is a family. And so with that, I would like to take my commitment to Troy Phi to the next level and be of service to you all as your next programming director. Even though I've only been on eBoard for a few short months, I've already learned a great deal about being a leader for this organization and collaborating with the rest of the council in order to facilitate the smoothness and success of each of our events. In addition, as the current philanthropy coordinator for my sorority, I've cultivated several leadership skills as well as significant experience with event planning that I would like to manifest to my best ability in our programming. In the spring, I was in charge of our annual sport philanthropy event, Buff Bowl. My duties included coordinating a multi-$1,000 budget, maintaining communication between 19 different fraternities regarding attendance and participation, being the point of contact for DPS, USC Rec Sports, and risk management to ensure the safety and security of the venue and our members, and creating and enforcing standards of behavior for our members. Currently, I am also coordinating our annual philanthropic dinner, which entails similar duties, as well as meeting with the Downtown Women's Center and other local food banks as avenues for donation and hopefully the establishment of a future partnership. As a member who has gone through the Kuya Ate Ate program, attended the GM Retreat, Friendsgiving, E-Night, and the end of the year banquet, I am able to contribute my personal experience and input into making each program better. My goals as your programming director include clear expectations and more careful organization for our events, facilitating better communication between board and the general members, and incorporating more creativity into each of our events to promote participation and to ensure a good time. Event planning requires a great deal of logistics, communication, and tiny details that can be easy to overlook, and making sure that everything is taken care of and will proceed accordingly is one of my main objectives. One of the events I would like to coordinate this school year is a game of Assassin. For those of you who do not know, in this game, each individual is given a target who they must track down and kill, which is marked by placing a sticky note on their back and sending a picture to the coordinator for evidence. Although you are notified of your own target, you do not know who is targeting you, so it is essential that you lay low around campus while at the same time trying to get your kills. The final showdown would take place at the end of the year banquet, with the final assassin getting a prize. This was one of my main ideas as your fundraising director, as it would require a participation fee to sign up. In addition, I would be interested in coordinating other large-scale events, such as #TP Goes to the Weekender or #TP Goes to Coachella. I am open to any ideas you might have, whether it be previous events or potential events, and I'm willing to work with you to ensure that your experience at Troy, Philippines is the best that it can be. My vision overall as your prospective programming director is to build a deeper bond and foster more community within each of our events. I think that it is in the special moments of each of these events that a member can find their home in Troy Phi. For me, it was finding my home in my family line. Shout out to Christian, PSP, Christina, and Maddie, you're not here, and the rest of the Ratchets, and that helped me see that I was a part of something bigger than myself. Thank you for always supporting me, being there for all the good, the bad, and the ugly, and always bringing good vibes and a good time. I promise to live out the Troy, Philippines mission statement to the best of my abilities, making sure that all my duties are, in one way or another, foster personal growth, self-discovery, and cultural celebration. At the end of the day, that is what it all comes down to. Thank you to everyone for being a part of my experience, and I hope you continue to let me be an instrument in shaping yours. Thank you.
Now it's time for Q&A. So if anyone has any questions for her, feel free to ask.
I'm going to use the same hands as this.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 minutes starts. What is something new that you can bring to top 5 that previous programming directors have done before?
Are you talking about like leadership wise or like events or like
Both.
both? Okay. Well, so for events, regarding like the GM retreat, I want to appoint somebody to be like a risk management supervisor, just because we don't want people like passed out for the whole weekend on a couch or like throwing up in bidets and causing group leaks. So I think that is very important to do, just because like even though we are all having fun, it's important to stay safe. Like safety is our #1 priority, and I think that should be incorporated not only in just our retreat but like all our other events.
He's the risk manager.
I'm the risk manager.
But like
Yeah.
a committee.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, even though it does fall on one person, I think it's all up to all of us to make sure that everybody is like staying safe. Hello.
I know you're the philanthropy chair for your sorority, and I know that takes a lot of time out of your schedule. I want to know how that will affect you if you were to be elected as programming director, because I know right now you don't show up to all of the Troy Phi events, and programming is a lot more time consuming than fundraising. So how would you deal with that?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I believe that part of being in college and finding out who you are is getting really involved in like different events and clubs and organizations. And while you're doing that, you kind of learn what you want to prioritize and which things you want to be more involved in, and which things you can sort of find a way to compromise with. And so judging from that, I do believe that my commitment to my position in my sorority doesn't necessarily hinder my commitment to TP, it rather enhances it. Like for example, I believe that I wouldn't have been able to secure my position on board if it weren't for the leadership position that I held previously. And so like again, like another thing of it is like not necessarily having time, it's about making time. And I think with everything you can find a compromise. Like for example, before the school year started, we had an e-board retreat, and I did have a conflicting schedule with my sorority just because it was Polish Week. But I was able to find the time after events had ended that day to drive up to Big Bear by myself and stay there for a day, make all the commitments necessary, and like be there for the event planning, and then drive back the next day before the event started. And so that's just like a solid example of like the commitment and the compromise that I'm willing to make for TP. Jerica?
You talked about how like planning really good events takes like meticulous detail and stuff like that. And that also requires effective communication with the people that you're working with, right? Like people on e-board. So can you just talk about like your communication style?
I feel like I'm a very direct person. Like if I want something done or if I need to get something done, I will reach out and tell them. Like for example, like it's been like hard to communicate with the recycling person the past week, and so I made sure to like send up follow-up emails if he wasn't responding like on time.
Any other questions?
We don't do pacing or like since pacing in the spring we don't really do a lot during the fall. Given the chance, what kind of events would you have for pacing during the fall?
For PACN?
Yes.
I do want to get more like involved with like hi-fi, so I think it'd be really cool if we did like a flash mob there as opposed to USC, or even like setting up like a community service event there, because like if you're there, like you can spread the word about PACN, and just like get the word out.
Anyone else? Last question?